right?
Yes.
How much does the premarital counseling help, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's a good question. The premarital counseling is more to open your eyes and give you awareness of what's coming.
Awareness.
That's it. It's to let you know that you think that you don't think it will happen to you, or you think you figured it all out. Oh, let me let you know what's coming. Oh, I bet you it's coming. So that when it starts to happen, you don't think that you're mad. One of the last couples we finished marriage counseling with, we were discussing the final topic on sex. And because they've been relatively down the straight and narrow path most of their single life, they want intimate, blah, blah, blah.
Got you.
The biggest headache they had was mental. 3 weeks into the marriage, because the physiological changes or experience or feelings they were getting did not marry up fully with what they expected to experience based on what they had seen or heard about.
Or
So the
heard
question
about.
now is there something wrong with me? Is there something wrong with us? That was the biggest problem. So now letting them know that, that's normal. That you're not mad.
You're not mad, because even if you have experience before marriage, I had experience before marriage. Even if you did,
together, it's different.
yeah, even if you did, when you do get married, it's not the same. You're not sleeping with the same person over and over again.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the C finish. Nigerian people call it C finish effect that will come in at some point. It usually kicks in for most women first. For us, we can have sex with the wood as long as you have the feelings. You can. But for women, it's mental. For a typical woman, it's extremely mental. For a typical man, cannot comprehend why that's mental.
Yeah, so these two things are so far removed that people have to be told about these experiences so that they know that it's coming, or there's nothing abnormal about it if you're experiencing it, so that you have to then work at it individually. So awareness is key. Awareness. So I'm going to add awareness to it. What I always tell people is that if you're going to premarital counseling and you don't learn conflict and crisis handling, it's a fail. Like everything you learned, right, including the date night and all that stuff, is useless. The first chapter we deal with usually is we talk about love languages. Not knowing them. Knowing them is, I mean, you can read that in the book. But what it feels like.
Yes.
How we mess each other up with it. And conflicts and the resolutions that come with it.
Yes.
That's the first thing we talk about.
Yeah. One of the things that people miss out on when it comes to the 5 love languages is that it's a seduction tool. It's not for you to be communicating and use it to manipulate the other person.
Which is what, by default, people would do.
That's what they do. Their narcissistic traits will come out after reading that book. My love language is this, and I don't feel like you understand that, dude. It wasn't about your love language. It's about learning the other person's love language, right? It's a big struggle. As much as to laugh, it's a whole lifetime of struggle.
It is a whole lifetime. So I do think that initially when you know what these love languages are, or you think you do, you don't realize that there's a
you think you do. Even you throwing shade, you think you do. You think you do. Go ahead, bro.
No, you don't realize that actually there's a lot more work to do. What if you can't deliver? What if you can't deliver even if you know?
Bro, I had like I typically don't argue with my wife, but it comes up, right? Which is why I say avoid it. The point of me telling you to avoid it is because it will come up. That's the point. Not that you should pretend like you're not human anymore. It's to be aware when it comes up that ultimately you want to be aware that this is an argument. The end of it is never good if you don't take control of the conversation. Right? Mm-hmm. So after we had the short argument, whatever I want to call it, which is huge, right, for us, instead of me, I just kind of left it alone. I typed my feelings into my phone note. I had not done that in years, but this time I was emotionally charged. So I was like, I typed it out. So I just literally deleted that note today. I read it. I'm like, wow. If this was going through my mind, if I poured this at this person, right? No wonder nothing good comes out of that.
Yeah.
Nothing good comes out of it, So yeah, we could talk about this things forever. It's all wrapped up in each other.
That's another book.
Another book entirely. We wrote my wife and I wrote a 200 pages book on it.
Yeah, I'm aware.
Yeah. So we at the end of the book, what we did is that we now recommended other books, including the 5 Love Languages, including some other books that I feel like men should read. I'm gonna ask you this one last question. Are you familiar with the Red Pill community online?
No.
Are you familiar with the Red Pill ideology from the Matrix?
So when you say this, my mind is now going to the Black Pill one with the guys who are into the conspiracy theory group and stuff. I don't know about the Red Pill one.
All right. So yeah, Black Pill is another thing. So there's Black Pill, there's Red Pill, there's Blue Pill, there's Purple Pill, there's Pink Pill. Right. So if you're mentoring younger adult people somewhere between the age of 21 and 30, and some people who may be experiencing sexless marriage or stuff like that, or trouble with their marriage, they end up in this community because they're looking for answers. So if they Google something like, she's toxic, or they Google something like,
I know this. It's the guy one, right? It's the guy one where they take it out on.
Yeah, but what happens is that they will end up in a community of gurus.
I've heard of them. Yeah, something happened here, where some guy basically shot his mom, and
this is the extreme of it, right? This is the extreme of, because people start to become woman enemy, right? The way they talk, you can hear the misogynistic things coming through, right? The same thing happens on the female side, misandry, right? Where the feministic thing
is too extreme,
and it operates at different levels. Like some are extreme, right? Some are extreme and say men are terrible, patriarchy is the evil, right? And some are very subtle, like they are the ones who say, no, I still want a husband, I still want to marry, but no, we're partners. You're not the head of the family, right?
Yeah, man.
These are the conversations that we can have when I bring you back on. Okay,
there
are specific cases, right? Specific cases, and the thing is this: like I said, it comes down to, if you're obsessed with winning, you would never settle for what you already know.
Without, it doesn't work in marriage. This winning stuff. If we're focused on winning together, that's different.
Yes, which is the true winning. Thank God that you said that. That's the true winning, right? Winning together is the true winning. But if you're obsessed with being right, it's different from obsessed with winning.
You haven't woken up yet.
Yeah, for me, winning is all around. That means all the people around me wins. My wife wins. My children wins. Right?
That's part of why we find ourselves doing marriage counseling, because as we say in my bio, it's we're reducing this potential divorce global count one couple at a time.
Yes.
So if you can help one couple, that couple actually has a family and another layer of generations that are coming after them that's been sort of pulled back from the brink. Yeah. And they may also help another family. So it's a chain reaction.
Yes, it is. It is. So you can't isolate yourself and say, I won. Like the idea of I'm right. No.
Yeah, your joy will be diluted if your community of network of friends and family or whatever, if they're also not right, the problems will find you.
Yeah.
Find you.
Yeah. If your wife is a loser, you're a loser.
You're a loser. I mean, just
yeah. So if you're obsessed with the true meaning of winning, based on the context we just added to it, if you're obsessed with it, you will never settle for what you already know. You will engage active listening for the rest of your life. Because people evolve. What you knew yesterday is obsolete. You see it in technology, you see it in business, you see it in every aspect of life. So because of that, we cannot finish this conversation today. No, we can't.